What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Payne. Welcome back to another Street Fighter Duel video. Alright guys, if you have not already done so and you're a subscriber, please go check out my 10K subscriber celebration giveaway. There is very easy instructions in terms of following and getting yourself the ability to win a $100 Visa gift card. Please jump on there, put a comment in, and follow the instructions. It's a 6-minute video. You can win yourself some money, and I want to get back to you guys. Anyways, aside the point though, today we're going on to another showcase, and I want to talk about a character who's very underused, underutilized, and not a lot of people talk about, and that is going to be a flame unit, and none other than the boy Adon. Now, I know a lot of us are waiting for Sagat. Everybody wants Sagat. Everybody wants the Muay Thai King Emperor, the one who got a scar from Ryu Shoryuken, and one of the most badass characters, I think, of all time in any fighting game in Sagat. But Adon is no slouch. I love him personally. I think he's an egomaniac, and I think psychotic, and I love his voice actor. I love his moves, and I think he's very underutilized in this game. So I want to talk about Adon today and kind of give you guys a reason why you should maybe be focusing on him a little more, especially Team 2 and 3 and 4s, because these things are going to come down the pipeline eventually for you guys, and you're going to have to develop multiple teams, and he's going to be a powerhouse for you to use in one of those multiple teams. Okay, so let's talk about who he is. He's a flame unit. He's obviously agility type, he's a balanced fighter, and he is considered wrestling, which kind of threw me off anyways, but he gets 100 HP. These things never make any sense to me, okay? So if we talk about his bonds, he's got DJ, Fei Long, and Dudley. Pretty much everybody from the Flame faction. He has no ties to any of these people from a lore perspective, so it is what it is. In terms of his actual best damage dealing fighting soul, it's going to be either assault, but more importantly, it's going to be broken formation. And the reason why for that is not for the actual buff itself, but it's going to be for the fact that it has the crit rate here. And it's very important to give him a lot of crit rate because most of his fighting spirit use is going to be crit damage related, which is the best multiplier in the game. So you want to be able to land those crits in order to get that crit damage bonus, right? So let's talk about his fighting soul. All right, so I've tested him in the trial version. I've tested other versions of him. This one here I've got him at 1-star only because I've been building him on my free-to-play account instead, and I've actually got him to plus, I think, 20 out there right now, and he's very, very useful. So he gets HP bonus and attack bonus. So from a stats perspective, it's really, really low, which is very unfortunate. That's actually the worst part of his fighting spirit, but the buffs are pretty insane, okay? So number one, Adon's crit damage is increased by 25% for each hatred mark that exists. Okay, so you can make multiple versions of those, by the way, and it'll increase his crit damage by 25%. And this is why it's so important to have the fighting soul there, broken formation, to give him additional crit in order for him to do more crit damage, right? Because you need those crit rates to connect for the crit damage to even occur. So if you guys don't know how that works. Assist skill takes effect when the fighter is in assist position. When an allied fighter is knocked out, the assisted fighter inflicts the enemy that delivered the final blow a hatred mark, lasting until the fighter dies. When the assisted fighter deals damage to that marked unit, they receive 18% of Adon's attack. As a bonus, hatred mark cannot be dispelled. So it kind of sucks that someone has to die. The assist is really bad, so you don't really want to focus on this. Where it gets much, much better is going forward, right? Unlock at 10, crit damage of other allied fighters is increased by 10% for each hatred mark that exists, right? So now there's 4 fighters in the whole match. 3 of them are going to be showing. If 3 of them have hatred mark guys, that's 30% crit damage increase just from that alone. Tie that in with Street Poison's already crit damage buff, you're skyrocketing crit damage, and which is very, very vital for DPS especially, right? Unlock at 20, each hatred mark increases Adon's crit damage by 35%, just for him alone, and that other allies increase by 15%, okay? So now it goes from 10 to 15, and also increases his crit damage to 35%, which was originally only 25%. So a 10% increase for him, 5% increase for the rest. And then lastly, other allied fighters deal 20% increased damage to targets with hatred mark. Amazing for bosses. Like, amazing for bosses. So not only is he good for PvE, but he's going to be amazing for for bosses as well in events. So a very underlooked unit, one that should be kind of used a little more often in my opinion. And we don't have that many good flame units as it is, but Adon is one that's actually really good that people don't focus on. Because I know everybody loves Sagat. I get it. Like I said, he's the Emperor, but we gotta give a little love to him. All right, let's talk about skills and how hatred mark occurs. So first off, his super, Jaguar Avalanche. Strikes the nearest target 4 times. dealing damage equal to 625 of attack. The final blow has a chance, 100% chance to bleed. So you're instantly doing bleed. So put him with a team like Vega, and Vega does more damage as well too. So a great bleed unit. If the target has hatred marked, the first 3 strikes have a 30% chance to inflict an additional bleed on top of that. So the last blow will do 1, and then each other strike has a 30% chance. So you can stack up to 4 bleeds fairly quickly. Increased damage to 688 if the target has hatred mark. That bleed chance is now 45% instead of 30, okay? So again, a great DPS character that is or not utilized at all, okay? Let's go over here. Combo 1. Swiftly strikes the enemy 9 times, and this is why Assault is really good for him, as well as Broken Formation. Assault will do more damage at 150% more if you do 10 to 8 hits, depending on what the level you're at, even lower if you go further in level. Anyways, so he deals 590% of damage. The first strike inflicts hatred mark on the target, okay? So this is important. If the target is already affected by hatred mark, you increase the damage to the target by 20. Okay? If the target carries grave injury, increase damage by an additional 20%. So you can go up to 40% worth of damage, guys, just by having those two debuffs. So hatred mark here deals damage to the unit that's marked, is increased by 20% and ignores 20% of dodge. Lasts for 12 seconds, so it's quite some time, okay? Moving on to skill 2. This is why it's important to use him somewhat manually, okay? I'm going to explain this real quick. Quick Strike deals the target 4 times at 627%. There's a 100% chance to inflict grave injury on the marked target. Increased damage to 69%. There's a 50% chance to additional infliction of grave injury. Decreases healing by 10% and increases blood damage. So here's how it works, right, with him. You want to use him manually, and this is why a lot of people don't like to use him, because you do want to alternate his combos. You want to do grave injury, this one here, in order to boost the damage of this one. Because remember, if you have grave injury on the unit, on the enemy, and hatred mark, which this gives, and this gives grave injury, this gives hatred mark, you can instantly increase his damage alone by 40%, which is crazy, guys. So a lot of people are not using him correctly, and not to mention, if you alternate back to manual and use his super, and he does enough bleeds, every bleed here gets increased by 10% by having grave injury, right? So very, very important. He needs to be used more manually. Counterattack when dealing melee has a chance to do 207% damage and inflicts hatred mark. So he has a counter. Like in Lucia, he does like a flip, like a little somersault flip. Increases counter damage to 238, triggers every 10 seconds instead of 15 seconds. So it is a long trigger, but it's still there. Counterattacks also have a chance to bleed. So you don't get grave injury from here, but you can get your bleeds and your hatred marks additionally from this counterattack alone. So very, very important. But you do want to manually switch to this move here when you can, okay? So let me go into a fight with him. Let's see if we can do... let's just do a boss fight for fun. I just want to see how much more damage. Now, remember, I don't have his FS. Oh, let's go back, actually. Sorry. Forgot about his cars. Let's talk about his cars real quick. Sorry, guys. I should have done that. I'm losing my mind a little bit here. Garage. So here you go. I don't have any of his cars, but... each stack of grave injury applied by Adon additionally reduces attack by 7%, so you're reducing the attack of the opponent by 7%. And grave injury applied by Adon deals a damage equal to 8% of the current target's HP up to 500% of Adon's attack when the target performs a super combo or combo. So just having grave injury on there will do additional damage to the opponent outside of bleeds. It'll actually do this HP damage, which is quite high. So if you want to maximize his damage, you definitely need to get a 6 cars, and he can actually put in quite a bit of work. Now, my Adon personally is not ready for that kind of damage, but I still want to show you guys how he works and how to use him, right? So let's go to the guild. We'll do a crusade. Not the best crusade for him, to be quite honest. I don't think I'm gonna have him ready for this like as he should be for this account, but I'm gonna show it to you anyways, okay? So for him, the best unit to use for would be Vega. Vega is great for him. So I'm going to put him in for, let's say for Bison. Okay. So I'm going to put him here. Actually, you know what? Let's keep that in. And then we're going to go Vega. Where's Vega? Okay. And we're going to do it. Oh, I need to have a C3. Sorry. So I actually need to get Ken out. So don't worry about the damage. Okay. This is not about damage for my unit. I just want to show you how he works. That's most important right here. Okay. So we're going to go AoE. So we're going to do single target first, right, to get that hatred mark in, plus a few bleeds. And then we're going to do AoE here, and we're going to do AoE here. But I'm not going to auto the whole time. I'm going to switch to a C2 after to do additional grave injuries and stuff, right? So let's try this out and see how it goes. So let's go 4 times speed, and we're not going to attack here. We're going to wait till this charm pops, and then we'll do the proper combos, okay? This is the second AoE. We need one more AoE for the charm to pop. It's coming up now, so let's see who has it. You can see the counters there, right? You can see she's got a couple different things going on. So who has it? Blanca has it? Perfect. So let's do this, 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 and this. Okay, charm's gone now. Okay, so now guys, watch this. Okay, so we're going to do this. We're going to go here, and we're going to do this right here instead. Okay, now look up top. You'll see Hatred Mark, you see 2 bleeds, you see another bleed, you see Grave Injury times 2, right? So now his damage is going to skyrocket in comparison to before. Okay, so this is where you really want to make sure, if you're going to use Adon, if you like him as a character, that you play a little bit more manually, and a lot of people are turned off by this concept. But I'm telling you now, in order to maximize his damage, you're going to have to do this. Like, you can't just rely on him to do everything for you on auto, because he's built to use all of his effects at once, okay? So definitely use that. Again, if you looked up top, you can see Hatred Marks, you can see Grave Injuries and Bleeds, and they all do great damage. Like, look, again, don't look at his damage, right? Because mine's not built for it, but 21 million, and even though he did die, he still did really well. If you look at the skill stats, right? Jagger Attack does the Grave Injury does more for Bleeds in turn do more damage, and then you have increased now your damage by 40% by having Grave Injury plus Hatred Mark on the target. And if you build them to plus 30, everybody else does 15% more crit damage, you do 35% more crit damage, and you do additionally more damage at the plus 30 mark. So a great unit who's underutilized and not used properly, but requires some manual work. So I just want to show you guys this showcase. I love Adon personally. I think, again, he could do a lot more, but people are unfortunately not willing to put the effort into him. So, yeah, that's my take on it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the showcase. I'll talk to you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye now.